This is not a whisper from the past. This is a thunderclap from the present, meant to shatter the glass ceiling of your self-doubt. Look around you. The world you inhabit, the steel and glass, the fiber and light, the very air-conditioned space you breathe, was not born from matter. It was born from a thought, a relentless, burning, non-negotiable thought held captive in the mind of an individual until it burst forth as reality. The bridges that span oceans, the machines that lift mountains, the screen you are staring into right now, all of it began as an invisible, intangible, yet utterly undeniable certainty. They tell you that money is power, that connections are currency, that pedigree is destiny. They teach you to chase the shadow when the substance lies hidden, not in the market, not in the inheritance, but within the most secure vault in existence, the vault of your own conviction. Your belief is the bank. And in this economy of the soul, the only collateral that truly counts is the depth, the ferocity, and the absolute unshakable nature of what you deposit. You do not deposit hopes. Hope is a lottery ticket. You do not deposit wishes. Wishes are scattered dust. You deposit certainty, the ironclad, unyielding knowledge that the thing you seek, the empire, the masterpiece, the freedom, the transformative idea, is not merely possible, but is already done. It is an inevitability waiting for you to walk into it. Think of it. Before the Model T was a roaring assembly line, it was a defiant scribble on a blueprint in the mind of Henry Ford. He wasn't hoping for affordable transportation. He was certain of it. He was certain even when his engineers scoffed, even when the money ran thin, even when the established elite whispered, "He's mad. Impossible." That certainty, that deep, quiet, unshakable deposit in the bank of his own belief, was the energy source that powered the revolution. It wasn't the steel, it was the will. It wasn't the mechanics, it was the mindset. The first greatest fraud perpetuated against the ambitious is the myth of the overnight success. They point to the glittering tower, but they never show you the graveyard of false starts, the mountain of discarded prototypes, the endless, agonizing hours of the invisible work. They show you the harvest, but they hide the seeding. And the seed, the first particle of all great achievement, is the definition of the definite chief aim. It must be so specific, so vividly rendered, that it burns away all distraction. It is the architectural drawing of your future, etched not in paper, but in the core of your being. This isn't positive thinking, that's a thin veneer. This is unqualified knowing. It's the difference between standing at the edge of a chasm and wishing you could fly, and standing there with the blueprints for the bridge already etched into your mind, knowing, beyond any shadow of a statistical doubt, that the materials are coming, the workers are ready, and the span will be completed. The mental picture must be so clear that you can taste the victory, feel the weight of the completed work in your hands, long before the first tangible step is taken. This clarity is the single largest deposit you will ever make into the bank of belief. We are surrounded by the walking dead, the millions who trade the vast, boundless territory of their potential for the small, predictable security of a paycheck. They operate on the principle of scarcity. They believe the universe is a finite pie, and they must fight for a small, crumbs and all slice. This belief is the withdrawal of failure. It is the cancerous idea that their fortune is dependent upon external factors, the boss, the market, the government, the luck of the draw. But the master key to all success, the law uncovered by every titan from Andrew Carnegie to Walt Disney, is the understanding that the universe is not a pie. It is a limitless field of creation. And your ability to harvest from that field is determined only by the size of the container you bring and the authority with which you demand to have it filled. The container is your vision. Disney didn't build an amusement park, he built a world. He wasn't selling rides, he was selling the physical manifestation of childhood wonder, a place where impossible dreams became three-dimensional reality. When they mocked him, when they called it Disney's folly, he didn't adjust his vision to fit their small-minded critique. He simply magnified the belief. He intensified the image. He kept making deposits, and the most crucial deposit, the emotional congruence. It is not enough to simply think the thought. The thought must be married to a relentless, powerful, overwhelming emotion. The kind of emotion that keeps you awake at 3 a.m., not with anxiety, but with the white-hot urgency of creation. The fusion of thought and feeling is the catalyst. It is the chemical reaction that transforms the intangible desire into the physical reality. It is the energy signature that the universe responds to. You must feel the wealth, the health, the contribution, the freedom now. Not when the bank account is full, but now in the quiet, focused solitude of your own imagination. The bank does not process cold, intellectual requests. It processes passionate, burning, soul-deep demands. The moment you commit to this level of vision, the universe begins to rearrange itself around your certainty. You will notice strange things. Books will fall off shelves, conversations will be overheard, chance encounters will align, and opportunities, seemingly delivered on a silver platter, will appear. The cynic calls this coincidence. The informed master calls this the law of attraction responding to the vibrational frequency of your absolute conviction. You are not asking for success. You are demanding your due from the cosmic account you faithfully overfunded with unwavering belief. But a vision, no matter how glorious, is nothing without the bedrock of purpose. This is where most ambitious men and women falter. They chase the money, the title, the superficial signifiers of success, only to find themselves profoundly empty when they arrive. They built a palace on sand because they failed to root their ambition in a cause greater than themselves. Your purpose must be the magnetic north of your life, the non-negotiable, unwavering reason why you are willing to endure the fire, the ridicule, the inevitable setbacks. Thomas Edison, the wizard of Menlo Park, failed thousands of times before the incandescent bulb glowed. Do you think he was motivated by the desire for a few extra dollars? No. He was driven by a purpose so profound it transcended failure, the desire to illuminate the world, to extend the productive hours of man, to banish the tyranny of darkness. His purpose was the endless fuel in his engine. When a lesser man would have quit on the 10th attempt, Edison saw only a 10th successful discovery of a method that would not work. That mental alchemy, that ability to transmute the lead of defeat into the gold of learning, is the hallmark of the master depositor. Your purpose must be so vast, so compelling, that it makes the setbacks feel like minor logistical errors on the path to an inevitable victory. When you tie your personal ambition to a mission that serves the greater good, you unlock a power far beyond the scope of mere individual effort. The transition from a burning desire to a tangible reality requires the creation of the mastermind alliance. No single great fortune was ever amassed alone. Every legend, every empire builder has recognized the exponential power of surrounding themselves with kindred, brilliant, and most importantly, believing minds. Carnegie, the Titan of Steel, was masterful at this. He didn't know everything, but he knew how to hire the men who did. He created a coalition of minds whose collective power was far greater than the sum of their individual intellects. Your mastermind is your defensive line against the world's pessimism. It is the echo chamber that only reflects back your highest potential, not your darkest fear. Choose them wisely. They must be individuals whose belief in your vision and in themselves is as ferocious as your own. They must be the individuals who do not allow you to make withdrawals of doubt. They hold the shared certainty, and together you create a synchronized field of energy that turbocharges the manifestation process. This alliance is not just networking. It is the deliberate, strategic pooling of mental energy, experience, and spiritual resolve. It is the formation of a unified front against the army of mediocrity. The combined certainty of a mastermind group multiplies the return on your belief deposit 1,000-fold. Now let us speak of the necessary dark passage, fear. Fear is the silent auditor, the ruthless liquidator of the bank of belief. It whispers the old lies: you're not smart enough. You don't have the resources. You've failed before, you'll fail again. The world is designed to encourage fear because fear keeps you small, compliant, and predictable. But true mastery is not the absence of fear. It is the absolute refusal to act on it. Fear is a feeling. Action is a choice. The most dangerous form of fear is the fear of criticism, the fear of what they will say, the fear of being judged, ridiculed, or dismissed by the timid, the jealous, the ones who chose the small life. You must internalize this truth. The size of the criticism you receive is directly proportional to the size of the life you are attempting to live. The minute you commit to a grand vision, you become a target. Accept it. Welcome it. Let the slings and arrows of the uncommitted be the sound of your progress. Every stone thrown at you is proof that you are far enough ahead to be noticed. Abraham Lincoln faced relentless ridicule, political sabotage, and overwhelming public scorn, yet he persisted, not by silencing his critics, but by letting the profound certainty of his purpose, the preservation of the Union, drown out the noise. Your conviction must be the shield that renders their judgment impotent. The antidote to fear is applied faith. This is the section where the rubber meets the road, the translation of the abstract certainty into the concrete, immediate action. Belief is a beautiful blueprint. Action is the construction crew. You cannot simply meditate on the outcome and wait for the miracle. The miracle is the synergy of your unwavering belief and your tireless, intelligent, focused effort. Action is the communication you send back to the universe, affirming your belief. Every deliberate, structured step you take is a signature on a withdrawal slip. You are saying, I believe this to be true, and I am acting as if it is already true. This isn't blind hustle. This is directed action. Every movement is calculated. Every resource is marshaled toward the definite chief aim. It requires the relentless application of self-discipline. Discipline is not punishment. It is the ultimate expression of self-love. It is the daily, grinding commitment to your own potential, even when the motivation is gone. The person who achieves greatness is not the one who works when they feel like it, but the one who works when the alarm clock screams no, when the comfort of the couch beckons, when the temptation of distraction mounts its final, furious assault. Discipline is the force field that protects your belief. It is the custodian that ensures your bank of belief remains solvent, ensuring that the necessary daily deposits of focused work are never missed. The modern mind is perpetually fractured. scattering its potent mental energy across 1,000 insignificant stimuli. Social media, endless news cycles, the constant pull of the trivial, they are all designed to steal the one true non-renewable resource you possess: attention. Your ability to focus, to concentrate your mental laser beam on your single, definite aim, is the difference between fortune and failure. To harness the power of your belief, you must learn to practice the mental monarchy. Your mind must be a kingdom ruled by a single sovereign idea, your definite chief aim. All other thoughts, all other distractions, are subjects subservient to that king. This requires the daily practice of autosuggestion. You must program your subconscious mind, the engine room of your destiny, with the language of your desired reality. This is not whispering platitudes into the void. This is the forceful, emotional injection of your chief aim into the core of your being, morning and night, until the belief calcifies into an undeniable truth that your subconscious accepts and begins to execute upon. You must write down the exact amount, the exact quality, the exact vision of what you intend to achieve. And you must read this statement aloud, with emotion, with the certainty that you are already holding it in your hands, not once but repeatedly, until the mental image becomes so real, so vivid, that the outer world seems less real than the image inside your head. This process is the daily deposit, the crucial compounding interest of your belief. The greatest challenge on this journey is not the external resistance, but the internal seduction of procrastination. It is the silent killer of dreams, cloaked in the deceptive fabric of "I'll do it tomorrow" or "I need more information." Procrastination is fear wearing a disguise. It is the subconscious mind sabotaging your conscious aim because it fears the unknown territory of true success. To crush this internal enemy, you must develop the habit of decisive momentum. The moment an idea, an insight, a crucial step for your chief aim enters your consciousness, you must act on it with blinding speed. World rewards rapid action and punishes hesitation. The successful man or woman develops the reputation within their own mind of being a doer. They don't just plan, they execute. They don't just learn, they apply. They don't just think, they produce. This is the difference between the spectator and the champion. Look at the history makers, the captains of industry, the artists, the innovators. They were not the ones with the best initial idea. They were the ones with the most relentless execution. Thomas Edison was not the first to work on the idea of electric light, but he was the last to give up. He was the most decisive. He operated with a momentum that crushed all resistance. Every successful withdrawal from the bank of belief is stamped with the seal of decisive, immediate action. And in that decisive action, you will encounter the inevitable, the inescapable, failure. Understand this. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a prerequisite for it. It is the tuition you pay for the highest form of education, experience. The person who fears failure is guaranteeing a life of mediocrity. They are terrified of the feedback loop, so they never leave the starting line. But the master, the individual who understands the true nature of belief, welcomes failure as an editor. Failure is simply the universe saying, that approach does not align with your definite chief aim. Adjust your trajectory. The story of Colonel Sanders, who did not achieve massive success until his 60s after hundreds of rejections, is not a story of luck. It is a testament to unflappable adaptability. He refused to let the temporary setback define his inevitable outcome. He simply adjusted the formula, tightened the process, and kept knocking on doors. Your ability to convert a setback into a springboard, to transmute defeat into a new, more refined plan of action, is the ultimate litmus test of your belief. The man who quits after the first, third, or even the 100th failure has made a massive withdrawal of doubt. The person who sees the defeat, absorbs the lesson, and accelerates their effort, that person has just made a deposit of unbreakable resilience. The truth is, your bank account is always accurate. If you're experiencing a life of scarcity, look at the deposits. They are likely filled with doubt, fear, and scattered, non-specific desires. If you wish to withdraw the fortune, you must make a corresponding deposit of certainty. This brings us to the highest, most powerful deposit of all, gratitude. It sounds counterintuitive to the ambitious, relentless drive, but it is the energetic multiplier that turbocharges the entire process. Gratitude is the conscious acknowledgement of the abundance that is already in your life, even in the struggle. It is the opposite of the scarcity mindset. When you operate from a place of gratitude, you're communicating to the universe that you are already rich, already successful, already blessed. You are saying, I have enough and I am open to receiving more. This shifts your vibrational frequency from needing to having. The moment you feel deep, genuine gratitude for the things you have, you open the floodgates for the things you desire. Gratitude is the spiritual magnet that attracts the corresponding abundance. Practice this daily. Acknowledge the strength in your body, the clarity in your mind, the people who believe in you, the very opportunity to strive. This intentional acknowledgement of the good is the ultimate act of faith, the final compounding deposit into the bank of belief. It proves you are not a victim of circumstance, but a master of your reality. You have been given the most powerful instrument in the cosmos, your mind, guided by the fiery furnace of an unyielding belief. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop waiting for the cosmic lottery ticket. The universe is waiting for you to simply claim what is already yours. Your belief is the bank. The time for window shopping your destiny is over. The vault is open. Walk in, make the deposit of your absolute, unyielding, undeniable certainty, and stand ready with the necessary, relentless, and intelligent action to withdraw the fortune. The world is watching. Now go build.